Hello everyone and welcome to Flickering Myth, an extension of the website flickeringmyth.com. My name's EJ Moreno and today we are diving in to a review of Blinded by the Light. If you would have told me an English Pakistani musical about Bruce Springsteen would win me over and be one of my favorite movies of the year, I would have told you you were a fool and crazy. And actually, what's that movie again? Because that sounds interesting. That's what happened with me with this movie. I heard about Blinded by the Light. People told me I would have loved it. I said, okay, whatever. They're like, but it's about Bruce Springsteen. And I said, oh, let's check this out. And I'm so glad I saw Blinded by the Light because this is one of the best movies I've seen of the year and one of the best musicals I have seen in quite some time. One, because it breaks the musical mode. Two, because it's a well-made film and a good time at the movies. Maybe with all the craziness in the world, I just needed a heartwarming movie like Blinded by the Light. But I will say, this movie isn't just pure escapism. They deal with some very real things in this movie, some things that actually reflect our current political, our current world environment, and I actually enjoy that. I like some escapism, but also at the same time, remind me of what I'm escaping of. Remind me that the world isn't perfect, and we need to see it reflected. But for the most part, Blinded by the Light is a great story about artists trying to figure themselves out, find their place in the world. You basically come out as an artist twice. You say, here I am as an artist, and that's a big deal. But then as an artist, you have to shift what people think of that. You're a writer. You were like, no, I'm not that writer. I'm my writer. And that's what the character Javed does in this movie. It's his journey as a writer, and one as a fan of Bruce Springsteen. It must be hard to be like, kind of into music that not a lot of people are into. I'm into movies a lot of people aren't into, so there's a lot of things people could relate to in here. From the artist story, from being a person who loves kind of a niche, obscure thing, there's a lot in here to relate to and a lot to fall in love with. Blinded by the Light tells the story of Javed, a young Pakistani kid living in the 1980s England, and he is dealing with it. There's a little bit of racism around where he lives. There's him trying to find himself as an artist. There's him dealing with his very traditional Pakistani dad. There's a lot that we go through with Javed in this film, and I really enjoyed the journey we went through. I think the actor who played Javed does such a great job making us feel everything, even when I don't completely agree with his character and he's yelling at his father for some reasons that I'm like, I could see it. He still made me go, I see your reasonings though. Even if I don't agree, I see your side to it. Same thing with the actor who played his father. I've dealt with parents like that before and I understand, but also he made himself feel sympathetic and real. Everyone in this movie at least feels like somewhat of a real character. Maybe not a full three-dimensional character, but they actually feel like characters, and I got their characters, their motivations, their goals, their feelings very quickly, very easily, and that's a compliment to a movie because sometimes motivations get lost in a shuffle when you're trying to tell like a heartwarming story. If the movie does have some flaws, the pacing is a little wonky. You could have cut a good solid 20 minutes out of this movie and made it a little bit more well-rounded, a little bit more streamlined. Because there's a lot of times I spent going, oh, well, I like hearing the Springsteen song, but what does this scene have to do with anything? That happened a little bit too much for me, where I was like, again, I like hearing this song, but I need context for the song. I just don't want to hear like a jukebox musical. Give me like motivation for the songs. They do for the most part. There's a lot of songs that play into Javed's life, and why that means a lot for him right there. I like that. But then we would go to like the actual titular Blinded by the Light, and I was like, okay, I get why it's here, but this is a weird usage of this scene, or we could have shortened this up a little bit. So there's a couple of that scenes when the editing and the pacing. There's also something they do in the edit where they make lyrics pop up on the screen, and it feels like a YouTube lyric video. You know, those ones where pop musicians will like release weeks before their songs. Like, here's the lyrics, learn them, and I'm like, cool, these look cheap. It looked cheap in the movie as well. So one of my only real complaints is in the edit. Like, the script's fine, the direction's fine. It goes down to when they got to the editors and they did the text on screen decision. They left a lot of that pacing there. Man, just tighten that up and this could have been an even better film. Alright guys, that is it for my review of Blinded by the Light. There's not a lot to say about this movie. Look, it's good. I had a great time watching it. You should really check this out. Is it a run out to the theaters and see it? Yeah, actually, listen to that Springsteen as loud as you can. because it's enjoyable. I think this is a good musical, one of the better ones of the year. I think I enjoy this more than Rocket Man, Bohemian Rhapsody. I haven't seen Yesterday, but I think I might like this more than Yesterday. Yeah, actually, I like this a lot. So I cannot wait for you guys to see it. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe to Flickering Myth because we make videos like this every single week. And make sure you guys give us a thumbs up because YouTube takes us oh so seriously. All right, guys, let's talk about Blinded by the Light in the comments below.